Oh, sabotage, sabotage, sabotage. Indiana Fever gets smacked by the LA Sparks by 14 points. Caitlin Clark being sabotaged by this trash-ass head coach, this trash-ass organization. Trade her already. Just trade her. This is garbage.
Watch that reaction. That's not just frustration, that's someone watching a generational talent being systematically mismanaged in real time. Sabotage. He says it 3 times in 11 seconds. And after what happened in Los Angeles on that court, it's hard to argue he's wrong. The Indiana Fever just got demolished by the LA Sparks. 14-point blowout. But the score doesn't tell you the real story. The real story is what happened to Caitlin Clark during that game. Or more accurately, what didn't happen. Because the most she played consecutively was 3 minutes and 10 seconds. 3 minutes, then back to the bike, then 2 more minutes, then back to the bike again. This isn't load management. This isn't a minutes restriction. This is something else entirely. And the numbers expose exactly what's going on.
The most she played was 3 minutes and 10 seconds at one time. That is sabotage, it's malpractice. There was no point in her even playing today if this is the plan. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it, man. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel. Hit that bell notification, hype the video, man. This is crazy, man. This is craziness, man. This is sabotage. You mean to tell me the bright...
There it is. The core issue laid out perfectly. You cannot get rhythm when you're playing in 2-minute spurts. Caitlin Clark isn't a role player who can check in cold and knock down spot-up threes. She's a rhythm point guard who orchestrates entire offensive systems. She needs to feel the flow of the game, read defensive adjustments, build chemistry with her teammates in real time. Instead, Stephanie White had her on a rotation that would be insulting for a deep bench player, let alone the #1 overall pick who just came off the most dominant college basketball season in history. 15 minutes total, broken into segments so short that she spent more time on that stationary bike than she did in continuous game action. Let's put this in perspective. In her final college game at Iowa, Caitlin Clark played 35 minutes. In the national championship game with everything on the line, she played 38 minutes. Now in a regular season WNBA game in May against a Sparks team that finished 10th in the league last season, she's getting 15 minutes in 2-minute intervals. The math doesn't math, unless the goal isn't actually to win the game.
It's never going to happen, man. This organization is malpractice. I'm sick of this shit. I'm over it. Pardon the language. I'm done. I'm done. Screw Stephanie White. Screw the Indiana Fever. Screw Amber Cox. Fuck them all. Fuck them all. I don't care. Pack them up. Just trade her already. She's already in Los Angeles. Just finalize the trade. It is clear that you guys don't want her. Y'all are not building a team around her. You guys are building the team.
And there's the accusation that's going to make people uncomfortable. Stat suppression. Intentional limitation of her production to keep her numbers down. 9 points, 3 assists, 4 turnovers. Those are the kind of stats that fuel narratives. See? She's struggling. She's not ready. The college game doesn't translate. Except you can't evaluate translation when the player isn't actually being allowed to play. Kelsey Mitchell got her full run, 29 points on 18 shots. She had rhythm. She had continuity. She had the opportunity to work through a rough first half where she was shooting 30% and find her stroke in the second half. That's what happens when a coach trusts you to play through adversity. Caitlin Clark didn't get that opportunity. She got yanked after every mistake. 1 turnover in the fourth quarter, benched. Meanwhile, Kelsey Mitchell's turnovers, those apparently don't warrant immediate removal from the game. The double standard is blatant. Now, Stephanie White would probably argue this is about injury management. Caitlin had been dealing with that plantar fascia issue. Fair enough. But here's the problem with that explanation. If she's too injured to play meaningful minutes, why play her at all? Why not just rest her completely and let her actually heal?
Build the team around her and get rid of Caitlin Clark, please. So do the Stephanie White, Kelsey Mitchell thing and let them do their thing. Trade Caitlin Clark. Let her stay in Los Angeles. Just get rid of her now. Just get rid of her now. The plan was garbage. The most Caitlin Clark played at one time, the most she played was 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, I get it. She's on the minutes.
Building the team around Kelsey Mitchell. That's what this is really about. And look, Kelsey Mitchell is a very good player. She can absolutely score the basketball. She's been an all-star. She's proven she can get buckets at the WNBA level. Nobody's taking that away from her. But here's the reality that Indiana's front office doesn't want to admit. Kelsey Mitchell is a scorer, not a franchise cornerstone. She's 28 years old. She's hit her ceiling as a player. You know exactly what you're getting with her. Efficient volume scoring, minimal playmaking, average defense. That's a great second or third option on a championship team. That's not the player you build around when you have a 22-year-old generational talent sitting right there. The Fever are making the same mistake organizations have made for decades. They're prioritizing the established veteran over the transcendent rookie because it's more comfortable, because it doesn't disrupt the existing hierarchy, because Kelsey Mitchell has been there for 7 years and paid her dues and deserves her respect. All of that is true, and all of that is irrelevant when you're trying to build a championship contender. You build around your best player, period. And whether Indiana wants to acknowledge it or not, Caitlin Clark is their best player. Not in 3 years, not eventually, right now.
This is what Caitlin Clark did all game. This is what she did all game. She sat on a damn bicycle pedaling all game. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And then, I mean, she gets benched in the fourth quarter. She gets benched after a turnover. Kelsey Mitchell never gets benched after her turnovers, ever, 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 ever. This is ridiculous, man. I am done with this team. I am done with this staff. I just want them to blow it up already. She's not even playing tomorrow. Why play her for fit?
Let's break down what actually happened in that game, because the details reveal just how dysfunctional this rotation was. First quarter, Caitlin checks in at the 7-minute mark, plays until 5 minutes, 2 minutes of game action, goes to the bike, comes back in with 2 minutes left in the quarter, plays those 2 minutes, back to the bike. Second quarter, similar pattern, short bursts, never more than 3 consecutive minutes. Meanwhile, the Sparks are building rhythm. Rickea Jackson is getting comfortable. Dearica Hamby is controlling the paint. The Fever's offense looks disjointed because their primary ball handler keeps disappearing. Third quarter, the Sparks extend the lead. Caitlin's on the bike again. By the time she checks back in, the game is starting to get away from Indiana. She's trying to create, but the timing is off. Her teammates don't know when she's going to be out there. The chemistry is non-existent. Fourth quarter. This is where it gets egregious. The Fever needs scoring. They need someone to create offense and stop the bleeding. And Stephanie White has Caitlin on the bench. She finally puts her in with about 4 minutes left. Caitlin immediately turns it over, trying to force something because she knows she's on a short leash. And boom, benched again. Game over. That's not coaching. That's sabotage.
Yeah, what, 4 turnovers? 2 of them were her fault. I'll say 2 of them were her fault. Outside of that, I'm not blaming her for 1 of 6 from 3. She's in no rhythm. I'm not blaming her for 4 of 12. This ain't on Caitlin Clark. This is on the damn organization. This is on the head coach. This is on the head coach. Flat out. Flat out, bro. Monique Billings was awful, but she did have 12 rebounds, but she wasn't good. Maisha Hines-Allen played 12 minutes. All zeros across the board, 2 rebounds. Horrible. Lexi Hall, 6 of 13, 14 points. She had a solid...
The bicycle. That stationary bike became the symbol of everything wrong with this situation. Caitlin Clark spent more time pedaling on the sideline than she did running actual offense, and every time the camera cut to her on that bike, you could see it. The frustration, the confusion, the realization that something is fundamentally broken with this organization. Think about the optics of this for a second. You're a rookie. You just finished the greatest college basketball career of all time. You won every major award. You broke every significant scoring record. You sold out arenas everywhere you played. You generated more media attention for women's basketball than anyone in history. You got drafted first overall to a team that desperately needs a franchise player, and your first extended action in a regular season game consists of sitting on a bike while your team gets blown out. That's the message Indiana is sending. Not just to Caitlin, but to everyone watching. We don't actually care about maximizing her talent. We care about managing egos and maintaining the status quo. Monique Billings played 25 minutes. 12 rebounds, sure, but she was awful offensively. 0 points on multiple attempts. Maisha Hines-Allen played 12 minutes. All zeros across the board except 2 rebounds. These players got more continuous run than Caitlin Clark. Let that sink in.
This sucks. I don't care about the 12 points in garbage time. Dantas sucks. Ty Harris sucks. Raven Johnson was 1 of 9 from 3. I mean, 1 of 9 from the floor, 0 for 3 from 3. Raven Johnson stinks. I'm sorry. Y'all keep trying to make reasoning for her and all of this stuff. The girl's not good. Whatever, man. Look at this possession from the Indiana Fever. We had 3 straight bunnies missed. Look at this nonsense. Look at this. Okay, Kelsey Mitchell smokes the layup. Monique Billings misses a layup. Lexi Hall, 4 feet away, misses. I mean, golly, y'all. I mean,
The LA Sparks made average players look like all-stars. That's the most damning indictment of Indiana's performance. Rickea Jackson went off for 22 points on 9 of 15 shooting. She looked like Jason Tatum out there. Rickea Jackson, who averaged 11 points per game last season. Who's a solid player, but not someone who should be dropping efficient 20s on you. Derika Hamby had 21 points and 9 rebounds. Nneka Ogwumike had 24 points and 8 rebounds. The Sparks shot over 50% from the field as a team. They had 5 players in double figures. The Fever's defense was non-existent. And here's the thing. Defense is where minutes restrictions make the least sense. You need continuity on defense. You need communication. You need players who understand the rotations and can anticipate what their teammates are going to do. When you're constantly subbing players in and out in short bursts, defensive cohesion is impossible. The Sparks exploited that all game long. They ran pick and roll after pick and roll because Indiana's defense was never set. They got transition buckets because the Fever couldn't establish any offensive rhythm, which meant they were taking quick shots and giving up long rebounds. The entire game flow favored LA because Indiana's rotation was chaos. Stephanie White lost this game before it started with her substitution pattern. The players didn't lose this game. The coach did.
Garbage look like good players. They made Ray Burrell look like Jason Tatum out there. Ray Burrell looked like Jason Tatum. 9 of 15, 22 points, 2 of 3 from 3. She had 22 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Ariel Atkins finally looked like a good basketball player. She had 12. Erica Wheeler had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. De'Erica Hamby, 21 points, 9 rebounds. Nneka Ogwumike, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, damn.
Now let's address the elephant in the room. Accountability. Because there's a very specific double standard happening in Indianapolis, and it's not subtle. Kelsey Mitchell takes a bad shot or turns the ball over. She stays in the game. She gets to play through it. She gets the benefit of the doubt because she's the established veteran. Caitlin Clark makes a mistake, and she's immediately on the bench. The leash is microscopic. Caitlin had 4 turnovers in this game. 2 of them were absolutely her fault. Bad passes, trying to force things that weren't there. The other 2 were more debatable. Teammates not being where they were supposed to be. Timing issues that come from lack of continuity. But all 4 turnovers get treated the same way. Instant benching. Meanwhile, Kelsey Mitchell's turnovers are just part of the game. Raven Johnson goes 1 for 9 from the field, 0 for 3 from deep, and she's out there for 23 minutes. No problem. Ty Harris contributes almost nothing and gets rotation minutes, totally fine. This is the kind of organizational dysfunction that destroys rookie confidence. You're telling Caitlin Clark that she's being held to a completely different standard than everyone else, that her mistakes are magnified while others get grace, that she has to be perfect in her limited minutes, while veterans can work through struggles. That's not player development. That's setting someone up to fail.
They intentionally sat Aaliyah Boston out. She could have played today. But this is what happens when you don't respect the game. Stephanie White thought she could play Caitlin Clark 12, 13 minutes and not play Aaliyah Boston at all. And they could just walk in there and beat the Sparks. And they got their ass handed to them. That's what happens when you think you could just show up and beat on somebody. That's what happens. You got to respect the game. The LA Sparks handed you your shit today. And that's
the sitting of Aaliyah Boston adds another layer to this disaster. She didn't play at all. Could have played, according to reports. But Stephanie White decided to rest her against a Sparks team that Indiana absolutely should have beaten. So you're telling me the plan was to go into LA without your best post player and with your franchise point guard on a 15-minute restriction broken into 2-minute segments, and you thought you were going to win. That's either incompetence or arrogance. Maybe both. This reeks of a coach who thought she could just show up and win because the Sparks finished 10th last season. That's disrespecting the game. That's disrespecting your opponent. And the Sparks made Indiana pay for that disrespect. They came out motivated. They played with energy, and they dominated a Fever team that looked unprepared and poorly coached. You want to manage Caitlin's minutes? Fine. Sit her completely and let her heal. You want to manage Aaliyah's workload? But you don't do both in the same game unless you're actively trying to lose. And if you're actively trying to lose, what message does that send to your fans, who paid money to watch this team? The Fever are playing games with their roster construction, and it's costing them wins. More importantly, it's costing them development time with their young core.
Organization, and you need to wake the hell up and see what's going on. You need to get the hell away from these people. You need to get away from here. You need to demand a trade. Where the hell is Aaron Kane? Can you do something for a change? Where the hell are you? Get Caitlin Clark out of this sabotaging organization with this bum of a coach. This is ridiculous. Caitlin Clark is just being sabotaged nonstop, man. I am disgusted. I am disgusted with what I saw today. What says you? Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. This Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment.
Here's what makes this situation so incredibly frustrating for anyone who cares about Caitlin Clark's career trajectory. Time is not infinite. Development windows are real. The longer Indiana wastes with this dysfunctional approach, the harder it becomes to build the right foundation. Caitlin Clark should be getting 28 to 32 minutes a game right now. She should be running the offense, making mistakes, learning from them in real time, and building chemistry with her teammates. Instead, she's getting 15 minutes in spurts so short that she can't establish any rhythm or flow. Every game like this is a wasted opportunity. Every game where she's relegated to the bike while inferior players get extended run is a game where she's not developing the way she should be. And the cruel irony is that Indiana's approach is actually making her look worse than she is. Her stats are going to suffer. Her efficiency is going to suffer. And then the narrative becomes, see, she's struggling to adjust to the pro game. But she's not struggling to adjust. She's struggling to get consistent minutes. Those are two completely different problems, and only one of them is actually her fault. The trade demands are starting to make sense. Get her to an organization that actually wants to build around her. Get her to a coach who understands how to use a player of her caliber. Get her somewhere that respects what she brings to the table instead of treating her like a problem to be managed. Because right now, Indiana is managing Caitlin Clark like she's a burden instead of a blessing. And that's organizational malpractice at the highest level.
Subscribe and share the channel.
So here's where we are. The Indiana Fever are 7 games into their season. They have one of the most talented rosters in the league on paper. They have the reigning Rookie of the Year favorite. They have a proven scorer in Kelsey Mitchell. They have an all-star caliber post player in Aaliyah Boston. And they're losing games they should win because their coaching staff can't figure out how to put a coherent rotation together. Stephanie White came in with a reputation as a player development coach, someone who understood the nuances of building a winning culture, someone who could maximize young talent. And through 7 games, she's done the opposite. She's created confusion. She's created frustration. She's created a situation where her best player is spending more time on a stationary bike than on the court. The Fever's front office needs to make a decision. Are they building around Caitlin Clark or not? Because if they are, everything about their current approach needs to change. If they're not, then trade her to a team that will. Don't waste her rookie contract playing these games. Caitlin Clark's brand is taking damage every time she sits on that bike while her team gets blown out. Her reputation is taking hits every time the box score shows 9 points and 4 turnovers in 15 minutes. And while some of that is inevitable rookie struggles, most of it is organizational failure creating an impossible situation. The clock is ticking. Indiana needs to figure this out before they completely squander the opportunity they have. Because opportunities like Caitlin Clark don't come around often. And when you get one, you don't put her on a bike. You put her on the court and let her cook. Right now, the Fever are doing everything except that. And until that changes, nothing else matters. The talent is there. The potential is there. The execution is not. And that falls on coaching and management, period. So what happens next? Does Stephanie White adjust her approach and actually give Caitlin meaningful minutes? Does the front office step in and demand changes? Or does this dysfunction continue until the trade demands become impossible to ignore? One thing is certain, if Indiana keeps treating their franchise player like a rotation piece, they're going to lose her. Maybe not this season, maybe not next season. But eventually she's going to look around and realize there are 12 other organizations that would kill to build around her. Organizations that wouldn't put her on a minutes restriction in May. Organizations that wouldn't break her playing time into 2-minute segments. Organizations that would actually treat her like the generational talent she is. The Fever have a choice to make: build around Caitlin Clark the right way, or watch her leave and dominate somewhere else.